I got a feeling. Do. Hello, I'm Sleepy. How are you? I was gonna say, who are you? As if Sleepy were my name, it may as well be. So, the sun has recently transited, as of a few hours ago, into Taurus from Aries after we had that eclipse, new moon in Aries. The second new moon in Aries. Now, since we just had the new moon in Aries, the first moon in this lunation cycle of the zodiac sign is going to be full. We're in full moon first territory. And I personally love it when the full moon is first and then the new moon is first because I'm weird like that. And I'm trying to think of the deck that I'm going to use to do this. I would love to use. Oh, gosh. I would love to use the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, but I don't want to have to fight to get it. And I was going to use something else, but now I'm like, I should just get it. This is an unintended consequence, maybe, of everything I've been doing. Because now I'm like, I'm not so lazy that I can't get this deck. And the past me would have been. And I miss that. I miss it. But now it wouldn't feel right if I don't grab it. So give me a moment. I should have grabbed it before I went live, but I didn't because I really thought I wouldn't use it. I thought I'd just pick something else that's more readily available, more accessible, but I'm not. So you get to stare at the wonderful OBS screen. Hey, Holly, how you doing? Oh, I got it. I got some water. I drank a lot of tea earlier too, so. Whew, let's talk about irony for a second. Isn't it ironic that I purchased this whatever to hold decks to make them more accessible? I moved them from where they were to make them more accessible, but now it's like they're more easily accessible where they were, and I never want to dig down to where they are. Oh gosh. You already won me over. I don't know. Anyway, initializing camera in 5, 4. Did you really think I was going to count all the way down? No. If I had to, I would have, but Anyway, here we are. So, I'm going to do this the way I've been doing this, but we're going to do it a little different. I'm going to pull before and after the Emperor for Aries season. Oh, this is embossed. I don't know if I've ever realized that this text is embossed. I'm going to pull before and after the Emperor and the Hierophant to be like themes of the season. And then I'm going to do it how I usually do it. 1 second. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I feel so far off to the side. That's a little better. Usually it doesn't matter. Well, usually I don't care. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but usually I don't care. Usually I'm unbothered. Pull before and after the Emperor, and before, it might be the Father in this deck. Before and after Major Arcana number 4, and before and after Major Arcana number 5. I'm going to pull. And then I'm going to do the 3 cards for what Aries season is leaving us with, the 1 card for how Taurus season is beginning, and then the 3 cards for the energy of what Taurus season has to offer. I think that's how I do this. Eve, hello. How are you? How are you doing today, Eve? You were on my mind today because it was you, right? It was you. Yeah, I was telling you about the job, right? Right? Anyway, I'm pretty sure. Also, I have not forgotten. I really want to like go through all of my decks, honestly, because it is a lot. It's quite a few. And when I do that, I will get back to you. So anyway, it's seeming like Taurus season is going to be the start of. Ooh, that's. I was hoping that it's going well, the search. Pleasantly surprised. And also pleasantly surprised that multiple. Well, I feel like surprised is an understatement. Because it's not that I'm like shocked. It felt important to me that I express how I feel or what I want. It felt important to me that I express what I want. Because it kind of felt like if I show them more of me, since it is a conversation, since it is a negotiation, there may be another position that, not one that's better, but they may know something that I don't know. You know, it's the hiring team, so they probably definitely know something that I don't know. But if I bring all of that to the table, there may be something else that I might be a better fit for. So yeah, anyway. Hey, Steph. Hello again. How are you? So yeah, that was really excited. That was really exciting. And like, she's like I got an email and then I got a text like, hey, like I sent you an email about this position. Let me know if you're interested. We want to set up an interview. Let me know, like, confirm if you got it. And I was like, yeah, I got it, and I'll reply by end of day. So I did that before I went live, and then when I was live, she sent me a Zoom link, and then she sent me an email. She was like, hey, I sent you an invitation for a Zoom interview. Like, let me know if you got the invitation. And I was like, confirmed and received. Yeah, so. Which I love because I'm ready to, begin. But also I wanted to do like one last trip before I start working. And I was going to go up to Canada, but I think that my timing might coincide with, like, there's a few people that I'd love to see in Canada. One of the people who I really need to see, she's going to be going to the UK. So I don't know if she would even be in Canada when I would like make it. So, and like 2 days isn't long enough to go to the UK, and I haven't looked at plane tickets or anything like that. But though, like honestly, I would if I could. But We'll see. I guess I'll know Monday what the timeline looks like anyway. Oh, no, you're fine, Steph. I know Perry was, I think it was Perry that was asking about you. Excuse me. Okay. So. I feel like I had a dream. Yesterday I woke up and I was like sinking or whatever. No! I remember when Reem, was like, who was it for? Was it Sagittarius or Capricorn or Aquarius? When Reem was like, I channeled your message today and I recorded it and here you are. I was like, oh snap. We getting same day uploads now? Because when she was at the cabin, she said the upload speed was a lot slower, so it took a lot longer for her to upload. So I was like, oof. Right? That's why I was like, oof. But I might be going back. I guess it depends. Because if I start working now, I don't know how much vacation I'll have saved up. Because I will be out of the country at the end of January. So I don't know if I'll make it in August or not. But I might be in Canada in October. So I might not make it back to the UK today. I was just thinking because I had a memory from May 29th, 2022. And I was like, life is crazy to the point where like I've spent in the past year, within the past year, because it's not even May yet, I've spent 10 days plus 3 weeks. So maybe like 5.5-ish weeks. I've spent 5.5-ish weeks of the past year in London. Well, like 5 weeks in London, and then I was in Darlington for a few days. But that's like wild to me. For like a month of not even the past 12. Well, almost. I was in out of the country. Which is wild. Never thought it'd be me. Looking into other options. Well, all the best. Were you able to get everything figured out? Because I know that you said that there was a wedding that is coming up. Were you able to get everything figured out for that? Stiff, the scribe. The scribe and choice. Ooh. Who's at the bottom of the deck? The hero. The scribe, the choice, and the hero. Do you write yourself as the hero of your own story, or is someone else the main character in your story? Interesting. Interesting. I'll give this a few more shuffles. I'll stop talking. And then we'll start. Again, I'm going to pull before and after number 5 for Taurus, number 4 for Aries, and then I'll do the standard 3-1-3. One more. We'll cut it here. Oh, okay. I'm going to set this part of the deck to the side, which is interesting. I don't know why, but we'll see. We'll see. Number 5. It is the father. So this half of the deck has number 5, which is the Taurus that we're coming into. And before is the 3 of Earth. After is the Youth, which is number 3. So the 3 and the 3 of Earth. Let's see. I kind of got to tilt it this way because that's where the lamp is. 33. It's interesting that 3 is the Youth instead of it being the Empress, but this isn't the Emperor anyway. So we're going to put you over here. I guess actually we'll put you here. And then I'm going to shuffle this since I already looked at the card. Excuse me. And I'm going to pull the 3 cards leading up to the middle. We'll pull them. I'll do the top, the middle, and the bottom. Then give me one more card to bridge this. What are we starting Taurus season off as? It ended up working out that Taurus is on one half of the deck and Aries is on the other half. So, how are we starting Taurus season? Are we starting Taurus season? Does Taurus season exist? I was going to say, does it even matter? Of course, Taurus season matters. Let's see. Maybe we'll get the Aries first. I guess we're going to Aries first. Love, a word that comes and goes, but few people really know what it really means to love somebody. Looking for number 4. Looking for the Ivy. Oh, the Hierophant is the father in this deck. I see. The cards are just like, the cards are cards. Number 4? Oh. There might have been a reason why I picked this deck. Might have been a reason why I picked this deck. Might have been a reason why I picked this deck. It might have been a reason. Oh, Lord, help me. Your daughter's birthday is tomorrow. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Happy early birthday to your daughter. Is tomorrow Earth Day? Or is that the 22nd? Or is it in May? Okay. So, the reason when I was like, there may have been a reason why I picked this deck is because number 5 is the father and number 4 is the mother. Number 3, the child, already came out under Taurus season. And it's interesting that the child comes out on the side of the father rather than the mother. But anyway, we ain't got to get into it, but it's interesting. Muy interesante en español. So we have one of our favorite 422. Okay, yeah, it is. We have one of our favorite cards in this deck. This card actually came out the last time I used this deck. Because I remember it was like we were being distracted with this while this is happening down here. It's all about, it's the art of directing attention. And then there's the mother, which is number 4. So Aries is the mother, Taurus is the father. Aries is Mars, Taurus is Venus. So we're switching up rows. Love that. And then we have the 10 of Fire. The 10 of Fire was coming out for a hot minute. Coming out real hot. And it's interesting that the 10 of Fire is here on the side of Aries because the Keeper came out as the first thing that Aries season was bringing us. And the Keeper is the Enlightened Fool. is the awakened fool, is the fool who's made it from magician to the world and who has learned what they needed to at every single step of the way. So that now when they go out into the world, they're all of the majors and they can really do whatever. And it feels like that same alignment type of energy is here in this 10 of fire that came out on the side of Aries. Now I'm going to give this a few more shuffles and then I'll do the top, middle, and bottom again. I guess Taurus it's interesting too that like maybe it's because we're already in Taurus season, but Taurus came out first and then Aries. So I'll do Taurus on the top, Aries on the bottom. I'm working with limited space. Your grandson was yesterday and your granddaughter was the 12th of April. It's like Christmas. Ooh. Yeah, all of our birthdays in my house, like February, March, April. So the birthday cake drought from May to February was very real. Was very real. No birthday cake through May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and January. No birthday cake. 3 months out of the year. And it's all at the beginning. Plus 3 of them, 3 birthdays are in the shortest month. The birthday cake famine was... Oof. But then, I got a little older and I was like, I can buy a birthday cake whenever I want birthday cake. I started celebrating my half birthday. I started celebrating my half birthday, and then I started celebrating my spiritual birthday, my second birthday, or my rebirthday. And then last year, I think I celebrated my 2.5 birthday. So like the half birthday of my spiritual birthday. Speaking of, hold up. I might have a half birthday coming up. Yeah, it would be what, May 4th? 11/4 minus 6 is 5/4. So my spiritual half birthday, or my first half birthday, is coming up. My second half birthday, which is my real half birthday, is in Virgo season. 2 plus 6, 8. It's in September. It's in September. Or is that August? 7 is July. 8 is August. It's in August. All right. Top. Middle. Oh, the middle is interesting. Bottom. Bottom of the deck over here is the Seneschal, which is the 12 of Earth. The Seneschal were the officers to the king or queen or whatever. When I Googled it, it was like officier de roi, which is French for officer of the, I want to say holy person or righteous person, the royal ones. Seneschal. And love in the Seneschal. Okay. So 2335, 2340, 2340. Let's go. Should I wait for 2345? We're gonna do it. Why not? Psych. So what's wrong with me? At the top, we have the 3 and the 6 of Earth. No, the 3 and the 5. Sorry, we have the 3 and the 5 of Earth. At the bottom, we have the Child and the 10 of Fire, which is interesting. So, Aries season was an energy of achieving a sort of alignment despite distractions. It's like not getting distracted, not being thrown off course or blown off path or whatever. and it still achieved this alignment regardless. Maybe there was something that Aries season, something that sort of like was, I don't want to say lost, I don't want to say misplaced or displaced. I want to use the word replaced, but replaced and like it was placed somewhere else. Hey David, how you doing? This time you don't catch me at the end of the video. Like it was picked up and replaced. It was placed again. Maybe at the time or maybe when it happened, we couldn't see a reason or purpose in it. We didn't know why, but again, it's like we continued and found ourselves in an alignment regardless. That Seneschal is not at the. I combined the two halves of the deck, so Live is at the bottom now. The Seneschal is somewhere in the mix. But I'm looking at the eyes of this. See that? I don't know why. Even more so than the crown. It's like the third eye and like what's going on around here, around the like 3D eyes is interesting. And it's like because that alignment, it's almost like, but that's what the cosmic surge. So when Perth Cosmic Surge came out, I mean, it's all relative. You know, some of the things we were supposed to go through so that we come to whatever realization or recognition, right? um, but with the Perth Cosmic Surge that came out with Calc Anchored Mortared, it was like if we can allow that surge to break through whatever blockage it's coming to break through, then it unlocks the body's capacity to like, it's like it opened a new energetic system that energy flows through, and since that energy flows through us, we have a little bit more agency with how it's used and directed because it's from within us. It's no longer outside of us to the point where we have to try to control, manipulate, or use it in whatever way. This feels like the system as that energy is flowing through it, but this is like the energetic system, the skeletal system. On the same side, in Taurus season, it gets flesh. It becomes the child of the mother and father, which is Aries and Taurus in this deck. The third and the fourth are the fourth and the fifth majors. So it's like the father oversees its growth outside of the womb. The mother was building the body inside of hers. She's like, now that I've had the baby, it's your turn. She's like, it's your turn to participate. Which is interesting because, again, like the Emperor has been coming out a lot lately, and I'll say a healed father archetype has been coming out, but it's not really healed. It's just like a truer father archetype. So I had a relationship with your Aries moon. Ooh, that was me with my Aries Venus for a hot minute. It was like, nope, 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 nope. We're not doing that. Nope, I don't think so. You're not gonna get my Taurian heart broken because then I'm gonna act up and I'm gonna be the bad guy. And I'm a Pisces. I don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want to be the bad guy. But when that Taurus moon starts seeing red, it's like, ooh, but I played the role so well. Saturn in Aquarius, cut it off. And like my Pisces sun is in my 11th house. My 11th house is Aquarius. At the top of my 11th house is my Saturn in Aquarius. So Saturn's like, okay, let's dim that a little bit. And then that's when the Taurus, and my Taurus moon is like on Algol. It's not an exact, there's like a 1 degree orb. So when, you know, the star starts to flicker and the snakes on the head of Medusa come alive and she opened her eyes and something turned to stone. That's what I had to heal from. That was my healing journey. Anyway. Enough about me. The sweetest little fish that you ever did see. Really? Yeah. So, in the womb of Aries, the body of the child was built and birthed, apparently. Maybe not necessarily, because it's just on the energy of Taurus season. I mean, y'all see the chili peppers sometimes. Oh, wait, was that what sarcastic? Was that sarcasm because of the chili peppers? Or were you genuinely surprised? You can lie to me if you want. Tell me you were surprised. Tell me you were shocked. As I laugh maniacally. Um, and with the Three of Pentacles, or with the Three of Earth, I'm thinking of the Three of Earth as experiences that form a young mind. It's almost like this child, although this alignment happened in Aries season, although this is like the spiritual body that is like that has been assembled in the womb of the mother, it feels like it still has to develop its own sense of identity. It has to get to know. It's like how when babies are born, they don't necessarily know how to walk. So, they spend their time like getting on their own 2 4 feet. They get on their 4 feet and they figure out balance, and they wobble until they figure it out. But this child is like so mature. And it's interesting because the way the child is drawn, you would think it's the fool. It's at the edge, it has the staff, it has an animal companion. So it's not like, maybe that's because we aren't children. You know what I mean? It'd be different if we were babies. But that might also, I haven't pulled the cards yet, but that might also not play to our advantage. Because it's almost like the fool would leap or the fool would jump there, but it's a child that matures. It's almost like it's the child that matures really quickly, but they weren't necessarily forced to mature quickly. But it's like they don't like the things that other kids like. And then it's like the parent, like, well, like you need to make friends. Like, it's now is a time to learn how to socialize and to start building those skills as well. But the kid is like, well, I don't like any of the things that they like. Like, I want to. Have I told y'all about? So, this is the book that when I was a child, before it was like questionable or creepy to stay with adults, because I guess there's always been creepy adults, but again, before all that, there was this lady that I went to church with that for some reason I just gravitated towards her. And so every now and then I would like go spend I don't even remember what we would do. I just remember like loving her. And she like I played Jet Set Radio Future for the first time because she had a nephew. Um, but anyway, she bought me this book at the local community college. This book about space when I was literally in elementary school. But I knew how to read going into kindergarten, so I read through the library by the time I was in like third grade, and then I got a library card to go to the public library so that I could have books. Um, but I learned to read, and I was like, enough about me. But here I am talking about me. I learned to read so early because like we didn't have cable TV, and my mom didn't let us have video games. So I had hooked on phonics to do for fun. I read as a source of entertainment. I also played outside with the neighbors, but I did a lot of reading for enjoyment. That was before we got a Nintendo 64. Because after we got the Nintendo 64, it was about video games and books were lame. Well, it was also Michael V. Michael V. I can be competitive. Michael V. I remember his name. I don't remember his face. I don't remember anything about this man besides his name and the fact that he traumatized me as a child. He's the reason why I don't like to read, because he had a library card. We had an AR program and different books were worth different amounts of points. And I always had the most points because I used to read for fun. So I was just constantly reading, and you take the little reading comprehension AR test and then you get your points. He had a library card. He had access to books with higher points than I had, and he got more points than me, like 1/4. And the competitiveness in me just like stopped liking to read, because it was like, now that I'm not the best reader, now that I don't have the most points, I don't want to read anymore. But anyway, the mass of the galaxy. When we needed to find the masses of stars, we studied the orbital motions of the pairs of stars and binary systems. To find the mass of the galaxy, we must look at the orbital motions of the stars within the galaxy. Every star in our galaxy follows an orbit around the center of mass of the galaxy, and thus we say the galaxy rotates. That rotation can reveal the total mass of the galaxy. Consequently, our discussion of the mass of the galaxy is also a discussion of the rotation of the galaxy and the orbits of the stars within the galaxy. That part about mass is interesting because, I've been eating better. And I've been going to the gym and I've been stepping on a scale expecting to see a change in numbers. And I know that food has mass. This is going to be TMI. It's going to be gross, but we're all adults here. Like, I know that food has mass, but for some reason in my mind, like, I guess I thought that once it went inside my body, it lost all mass. Because it's like, if I eat a pound of French fries, I weigh a pound more until I get rid of that pound of French fries. And it's like, what? Food still has a weight when it's in me? Having food in me makes me weigh more? Like, I don't know why it's as wild to me as it is. And water, like liquids. I'm like, what? The mass doesn't just like disappear. Anyway. Like, this is what I did as a kid. My space phase was brief. It was very brief. But I got this in my space phase. I was actually gonna like give me a page, and then I'll open the book and I'll put my finger on the page, and this time we'll talk about how face to trap. What? Where's the beginning of the sentence? Loops of magnetic field might not rise above the surface to trap ionized gases and form prominences, and twists and kinks might never form in the field, and thus there would be no flares. Loops of magnetic field might not rise above the surface to trap ionized gases and form prominences, and twists and kinks might never form in the field. Girl, so now we're talking about forming solar flares. Anyway, yeah, I was like, what? Water weight is real. Water weight is real. That's why it's important to hydrate. So you go to the bathroom. I'm kidding. Anyway, I feel like I kind of, take those Legos and get out of here. Me too. Hooked on Phonics was amazing. That was fun to me. Anyway, it feels like it might be a little bit of that energy, or that's what like the child is giving me, because it looks like the fool, but it isn't the fool. But it's almost like, this is the time for you to be a fool. It's a time for you to do new things. So it's a little bit of like, don't, it's falling into that, like the beginner's mind. It's like, just don't be afraid to do things that you wouldn't have necessarily done. Don't be afraid to try new things. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. So we're going to look at the beginning, the top of Taurus season, and the end. No, how am I reading this? Should I read like Taurus, the cards for Taurus season? See you later, Steph. All the best. Bunch of new moon things. Taurus came out first again, which is interesting. So I don't know if I'll read all of Taurus first, or I'll read Taurus and then I'll read Aries, because maybe there'll be like a context. Just how like Taurus is like you are the child, and then Aries was like, because this body is like you're learning how to use all this, whatever all that is. So let's just do it. First card from Taurus season is abundance, and we love to see it. Taurus is coming out with Capricorn. Well, it's only Capricorn because 15 is the devil, and. But what I love about abundance being 15, it's like it has, because it feels like the devil is a tempter or a temptress. It's like, if you do this, then I will give you money. If you do this, then I will give you that. But here's an energy that naturally has it. Where Aries season, the first card is the Seven of Earth. See, this is interesting. So again, when I use the SKT from Aries to Pisces, from Pisces to Aries, sorry. When I use the SKT from Pisces to Aries, the first card that Aries season was bringing us was the Keeper. Meaning that like it was a sort of mastery. This Seven of Pentacles, or the Seven of Earth, is that the process of the alignment happening. Again, overall, we ended, or what Aries season gave us was this. So, like, the first card, top of the deck for Aries, was that. So it keeps like affirming itself in a way. But it's almost like Taurus season. It's like in Aries season, there was an internal alignment. Again, that internal alignment, regardless of what was happening. Taurus season is bringing the abundance of that. And it's the Seven of Earth, Seven of Pentacles. It's like cultivation. This Seven of Earth is actually pretty similar to the Seven of Pentacles in the Pride Tarot. Because in the Seven of Pentacles in the Pride Tarot, there is a person who's meditating, and then there's a tree that comes off of their head. I believe, I haven't seen it in a second, but there's the tree, and there's like the 7 chakras. Each pentacle is a chakra. The middle is the 3 of fire. So here we see the Fool, or we see a more traditional. But it's almost like it's walking away from the abundance. Where's it going? I'm a cheat. We're looking ahead. It's going to the 5 of fire. So this is what's happening in Taurus season. Very fiery. It's like money, no thank you. And abundance of good loving. Kidding. Anyway. It feels like there's a crucible energy here. And by a crucible, it's like it's a meeting of minds. So in this, it almost feels like the abundance is here to take care of the things that we need to take care of, so that we can prioritize other things, or so that we focus on other things. It's almost like the focus is being shifted from the 3D material, or the focus is being shifted from like making money or having enough money. And it's from that more to like, what is the thing? The North Node is also going to transit into Aries from Taurus. So the node is transiting from Aries into Taurus. So maybe that's why too. Because now it's going to be more about this. And this 5 of it feels like a crucible. But it feels like, you know how if you put a whole bunch of ingredients into a mortar and pestle and then you like grind them together, it's not only one thing, it's like multiple things that we're like atomizing, that we're crushing, that we're turning into a powder. It's the mixing pot, it's the cauldron. It feels like a cauldron that we're throwing a lot of ingredients into. And we're adding our flavor here. And it's two masculine energies, and I'm feeling it as like action, as like doing something. Like the alignment has already happened. Aries is the mother. All of the internal work is done, which is interesting because it's reading like Taurus is the season for action. Aries was the season for internal work, healing, and alignment. Middle of Aries season is death and rebirth. And in the egg, we see the baby. The baby. Sorry. Disney's Hercules again. So after this alignment, then comes the chrysalis, then comes the cocoon. What's the third card? The bottom of the deck is the Nine of Air. This card is what Pisces season was bringing us. This is the one in the Rare Gazelle's Pisces readings. There was a hot minute where this card was coming out to symbolize like thawing out a golden timeline. But this golden timeline energy was the beginning of Pisces season. It's the first thing that Pisces season was bringing us. I'm pretty sure when I read Aquarius into Pisces. Ah, is it incubating the egg? Like if the egg were to sit on top like this. Thunder says yes. I'm kidding. See, and this is a lot of earth too. A lot of earthy, lifey energies. And then the last card is, you know what, honestly? This may be a shift to more Vedic astrology. And I only say that because in Vedic, it would be Aries season, and we're moving into Aries season if it hasn't already started. And tropical, we're moving into Taurus. But there's an energy of like a fire here in Taurus season that we usually associate more with Aries season. I already combined the two decks together. Darn it. I was supposed to keep them separate so I could see the first thing that Taurus season is bringing us, but maybe the first thing that Taurus season is going to bring us was on the side or was in the deck of Aries season, and that's why it wouldn't come out. Maybe that's also why the Keeper was the first thing that Aries season was bringing. The Keeper is the one who's gone through the major arcana again, from the Magician to the World, and that's incorporated everything that they need to along the way. so that when these distractions or when this whatever came up in Aries season, we would be able to display that mastery to go through this alignment or to achieve this alignment regardless. What's the first thing that Taurus? Oh gosh, no. Oh, okay, fine, I'll take it. It flipped over. I put it up right, and it flipped over again. You don't know how to be a Leo. I've been looking at my Vedic lately. Like in Vedic, I'm a South node Taurus in the second house, North node Scorpio in the eighth house. And I was watching KRS astrology because, back when I was like first learning astrology through different videos on YouTube, he would pop up, but he did Vedic. So like I knew him, but I never really like watched him. My astrology phase was kind of brief ish. Um, but yeah, for like South Node in the second house or K2 in the second house, because he was like, K2, it might be the space of things that you're not really satisfied with, or it's like you might not value it as much as other people do because you've kind of already like been there, done that, like you already got it. And I was like low key, like kind of sort of honestly, because when I started working last year, when I didn't have the financial resources I thought I wanted and needed a lot more than I actually do. Because when I was working the job and making the money, it's like I didn't really want for anything. And I was more happy to like be able to give to people who needed it. So like I want to be comfortable, but don't get me wrong, but I don't need excess. I don't need as much as I thought. Which is also too like why I don't know. Anyway, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. I tell you. I tell you. Boom, 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 boom. You can rock a Scorpio moon though. Well, my moon is still in Taurus, so and I could see myself as an Aquarius. Oh snap! Oh my! The first thing I'll give you a guess. I'll give you a guess of what the first thing that Taurus season is bringing us or asking of us. I'll give you one. I'll give you three guesses. You can pause the video if you want. You can pause the live if you want, because I'm not gonna wait. I'll wait 4 more seconds. The King of Air. The King of Air. For all that King of Swords that's been observing and watching and seeing how people do stuff. The King of Air, followed by the Nine of Water. But it's interesting because of how it is. It's like it just feels like it should naturally be like this. The Nine of Water looking up to the King of Air. And remember, like I went looking at the bottom of the deck for the King of Earth, I think it was, because there was something about the eyes in this. And in the King of Air, we see the feathers around the eyes. I guess those could almost look like fiery feathers, the rays of the sun. I honestly feel like it's fine. The King of Air, the Nine of Water. You know what? I kind of want to read these. I don't know if I like this book or not. I might not. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Fire. So we see the Three of Earth, the Three of Fire, and I thought there was another three. The Child. Who are you? The Three of Fire, the Three of Earth, and now the Three of Water. No, this is the Three of Air. We don't see the Three of Water. The Three of Water is the only three that hasn't shown itself yet. And threes are catalysts. Threes are catalytic. So there's something that inspired change and other things, but it in and of itself doesn't change. Or it's like it's not consumed in the, so in chemistry or in biology, I guess, in science, a catalyst is something that makes it easier, quicker, more efficient for a process to happen. But by the end of the reaction, the catalyst is regenerated. So that's why it's not consumed. It's not consumed because it's regenerated, but it does actually participate in the reaction. So it's not inert. It's not something that, because like if it were inert, then how would it change? Like how would it encourage the production of something if it didn't participate? It's just that by the end of it, it's like it's returned to its original form and it's returned to its original state. And that's interesting because I did a reading, was it yesterday? It was yesterday, with the Five of Wands and the Seven of Wands. And then the Nine of Wands came out, but when it was the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands, I was like, that's when I clocked it. I was like, something about this conflict seems manufactured. Something is telling me that things may not necessarily be what we think they is. It was one of those what would you do scenarios. And that's kind of a three in the energy or in the space of catalysis anyway. It's also interesting because it feels like this has, was that the same reading? This has elements of the Seven of Air or the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords. No, it wasn't the same reading. This is like the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords in the Santa Muerte Tarot. When the Wheel of Fortune crumbled, and the only thing that was left were those two books, and then we had the Wheel of the Year and the Witch's Tarot, which is like take the ace and let the ace guide you towards how to navigate in this new space, in this new world. But the first thing that came out in the Santa Muerte was the person getting out of the coffin in the Seven of Swords and then reading this book in the Nine of Swords, the books that were remaining from the creatures that abandoned the falling wheel. And it was like, do we rebuild that wheel? Well, here we see with that open book, I mean, that one's also reading a book. So, but these two make me think of that. Like the old story, the old books, the old ways of going about things. We see a dragon and we see an owl. Oh, and there's a key around his neck. I went looking for keys in this deck for some reason. I don't even remember why. And I knew that there were so many keys in this deck, but I didn't see a single one. And so I was like, I guess it's not for me to talk about. I remember Reem posted a video and her dad had the keys or something. And that wasn't why. It's like the key spoke something to me that was like different. It was saying something else, but I don't remember what it was saying. But I was like, if I don't see the key in this space, then it's not for me to talk about. Maybe it was something for me to observe and witness within my own mind, reality, whatever. The book. That's why I picked this deck up. The book. El libro. So it's the 14 of air and the 9 of water as the thunder rolls in. These entries are long, pages, pages. The king of air, disciplined, ethical, commanding, expert, forceful, precise, rule oriented, and respectful. A time for ethical behavior, no room for compromise. Seek the advice of an expert, respect the rules or laws. Why are you pushing boundaries? Is a question. Keep your judgment free of emotional impediment or impediment. Don't be drawn into an argument. Don't reject unsolicited advice. Don't reject unsolicited advice is interesting. That's very interesting. So the King of Swords, the King of Air isn't like, I don't recall asking for your opinion. I don't remember asking for your advice. I think that plays on the higher light of the King of Air. Because just as the King of Air is very knowledgeable, the King of Air knows what he knows. The King of Air knows what he doesn't know. And then there are things that the King of Air doesn't know that he doesn't even know, like all of us. But the way that the King of Air handles the things that he knows that he doesn't know might be different than how we think. Because I feel like a lot of times I hear the King or Queen of Swords or just the energy of Swords talked about, we might think that because it can't be proven, that they won't believe it. But it feels like the King and Queen of Swords in their higher light or whatever, they wouldn't reject something as real just because they don't understand it. They have to be open. And then they can increase their understanding. Then it becomes like, what's the science behind this? Let's dive into it. Let's see how and why this works. But they don't just reject it because they don't understand it. And it feels like that's why it's that don't reject unsolicited advice, because it might be good information, even though you didn't ask for it, even though, But I think that also plays on the King of Air's ability to be a little detached. Like, just because it hurts my pride or just because it hurts my feelings means that I'm going to reject this information that's true? No. Okay? Just because it hurt my feelings don't mean it's wrong. Meaning, the King of Air is a just and fair leader with a stern and commanding presence. He can be imposing and somewhat intimidating due to his formal manner, but his stern countenance is tempered by a compassion born of his spiritual belief. He is an educated man with vast knowledge. He is also a wise man who has learned from every life experience. When he speaks, everybody listens. That when he's a wise man who has learned from every life experience, it's given me keeper energy. The keeper is the one who's learned from every major arcana from the magician to the world, who now takes a working knowledge or who takes a working knowing of that information into the world. Interesting. 9 of air, not air, water. 9 of water. There's earth. Who are you? What element are you? Oh, that's majors. King of fire. Here we go. 5 of water, 7 of water, 8 of water, 9 of water. 9 of water. Keywords: illumination, acceptance, openness, emotional enlightenment, strength, courage, fear, and ignorance. Key phrases: open your heart, past experiences leave an emotional imprint, shine a light on the source of the emotional pain, the effect of past experiences on the present moment, the weight of our emotions, emotional enlightenment, the process of becoming lighter. Ignorance is not bliss. Break the cycle, remove the emotional hooks. Meaning, the very first thing to be born in the darkness of the void was light. The 9 of water represents a need to embrace an open heart and allow the light of love to transform and heal emotional pain and turn it into knowledge that sets us free. Our past experiences, good and bad, leave an emotional imprint. Remembered joy and love can inspire a sense of well being. A happy memory creates a feeling within that curves the lips and makes us smile or laugh, while a bad memory can cause tears and open old wounds we thought were healed and forgotten long ago. So yeah, that's the reason why this card was looking up to this one. 47 degrees, me too. Oh gosh, I would love it. So this ability to face emotional pain and trauma of the past, this is the King of Swords is like open heart, right? That it talked about in the Father of Air in his entry. It's because of this. But he's elevated above it in a way. Because these experiences hold wisdom. Hey Perry, how are you doing? I think Steph signed off for the night to do her new moon stuff, so you missed her again, unfortunately. Um, but there were experiences back here that also served this king of air. And what's interesting is like it feels like those could have been tears that fell from his eyes, but through whatever this process was, like they turned into wings, they turned into feathers magically. If I could animate it, you'd see it. So I don't know if the first thing Taurus season is going to ask of us is if we've truly, I don't want to say if we've truly healed. Um, Maybe it's going to ask if we've worked through certain things of the past enough to not allow them to sabotage our present moment heading into the future. Because the first card for Taurus season was abundance, is abundance. And then immediately after that, it goes beyond. It is interesting, too, that these two blues, like this is the first thing that Taurus season is bringing us. But then it's like so much red. It's like so much fire. But it's starting in the mind and in the heart. So Taurus season is definitely going to be a time to show up and to be an active and contributing component, but to also be open and allow ourselves to be tended to and to allow ourselves to be cared for. I'll read that Three of Earth too. Why not? 12 of air, fire. I think earth was before air. Yep. 3 of air. 3 of earth, sorry. This is ambition, sowing seeds, groundwork, energy investment, sacrifice, fertility, and outcomes. Key phrases: time to make preparations, risking future goals and ambitions, investment slash sacrifice equals reward, a time of restriction or adversity, increased opportunity. People notice commitment and dedication. Be sure of your motives, maintain intimacy and connection. The Three of Earth represents a time of preparation. It is time to sow the seeds born of thought, need, and desire in fertile soil, and do what is required in order to make those seeds grow. It is a time for you to do the necessary groundwork. Remember, the outcome can only be equal to the investment you are willing to make in the here and now. The Three of Earth can also symbolize a time of sacrifice in the weeks and months ahead. There may be choices offered that appear as limitations or restrictions. While these choices might bring about feelings of reluctance, frustration, and annoyance, put them aside and focus on what the end result will bring. The future may also offer moments of adversity and hardship that make you want to give up. If you find your resolve challenged over the weeks and months ahead, know that all you hope to achieve is dependent upon your willingness to make a commitment now and then honor that commitment to the end. Do so knowing that it will be noticed and respected. It may even increase the opportunities that come your way. Whether it be further education, new work responsibilities, saving for a new home, or building a business, now is the time to look for realistic, grounded options and to then get in touch with those who have the knowledge and information you require in order to determine if your objectives can be achieved and the best course of action for you to take. The Three of Earth asks, what are you willing to do now in order to achieve the outcome you desire? And with this being the first thing that Taurus season brings us, it might again test whether it might test. It's not even like whether or not we've healed the past. It's going to test like whether or not the past continues to shackle us in the present. Because we're going to be asked to accept this, and I guess that plays on the conflict that is the more traditional Five of Fire, Five of Wands. But this conflict feels like a crucible. And as I say crucible, like in Destiny, which is a video game, the crucible is the PvP arena. So it's like player versus player. But it was like, it's not that kind of crucible. It's the cauldron, it's the melting pot, it's the thing that you put it in, and then I guess in the crucible, in the mortar and pestle, it is subjected to the pressure of, it's like the pressure of the pestle, and then you grind it. So in that way, it's if you're not the person doing it, if you're in the crucible and you're being, whatever, it might, But also, too, with that, I think that's why the child is here again. Because there's a lot of learning that we still have yet to do. But the work that we've done in the past will serve us well. And I love this, like, the first card, top of Aries season, was this grounded energy. So that grounding is something that is already in our tool belt. Or potentially, I guess, if Aries season gave that to you, then you can do it. It also makes me think of what was I looking for when I did the crims, when I used the Wild Unknown Tarot, Animal Spirits, and Alchemy, and it was in the Wild Unknown Tarot. It was the Son of Cups that went into the Nine of Wands, Judgment, the High Priestess, and the Two of Swords. And it was that energy of like, there are these incremental leaps that we take to get closer and closer and closer to the thing that we desire, with the moon at the top of that Nine of Wands. I feel like, I feel like we've already done most of the work, but this almost proves that it's like maybe we've completed one phase, but now we're birthed into this new world. So that is very true. And maybe that speaks of the free electrons that recharge us. The movement of those electrons creates an electromagnetic field. And the book was saying that if the magnetic field doesn't rise above the whatever, then the ionic gases don't twist and kink and curl, and no flares are produced. Girl, I don't remember. I guess the question is, do we want to flare? This is where I love the Clarity Tarot. If for nothing but to get a quick yes or no. Is the flare good? Do we want to flare? Does the flare serve us or no? We'll do this card. No, it's the Seven of Wands. Is this accurate information? No, it's not. With the Queen of Pentacles. The reason why I asked if it was accurate is because the Seven of Wands came out and the Queen of Swords was its challenge. This was the paid actors. This was like spirit, like putting on a show to see what we would do. We don't have the Queen of Swords, but we have the Queen of Life. And I remember mentioning how weird it was that it seemed like the Queen of Swords' sword had ivy wrapping around it, like it was producing life. This would be the queen associated with that. So orange cloves. What? This was the howl yesterday, wasn't it? I didn't even notice this dove until later. I was like, oh, there's a dove up there. I was more focused on like, what is the deer doing in the back? Hello? Why is the deer creeping? The Seven of Wands says no, but then the Queen of Pentacles said no. No to the no. So is that a yes? So is this a yes? No. With the Queen of Cups, it's a no. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm dealing with an 8 ball. Am I still live? Wow, my whole window literally just disappeared. I can't get into the YouTube window on my laptop is inaccessible. Maybe I'm asking too many questions. Because I was going to be like, can you say anything but no? Are these cards going to give me anything but no? What is it? Is it Control Tab? Or is it Shift Tab? Is it Control Shift Tab? I don't remember. Is it Alt Tab? It's Alt Tab. I'm like, how do I go to another window? What is wrong? What is happening? I guess I could get. I don't know if you can see me because I can't access my little YouTube window. I don't know if I accidentally closed the window or what. I tried to open another Google Chrome, but it's not there. Where's my phone? Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Am I still live? No. Am I still live? Yeah, I am. I just can't. I can't. I can't see anything. Ooh, hold up. Wait. What was that? I saw something flicker on the. Oh, hold up. I'm seeing a flicker on the left side. Is my. Is project on? It shouldn't be. Duplicate. PC screen only. It's like it's opening the window off to the left. It's in the past. When I click it, I can tell like it's opening off to the left, but it's like I can't. There's nothing there. What did this card say? The first thing born in the void is light. Well, let me. At least I'm streaming with OBS, so I can see what you see. I can see what you see. I just can't see the chat. So the first thing born in the void is light. Can this deck say anything but no? I'm just curious at this point. No. Another no. Knight of Cups, no. Queen of Cups, no. The Seven of Wands, no. That's a lot of no's. But when I asked it, like, is this maybe because it's like relative? Some things we might want to flare, other things we might not want to flare. So it's not a simple or straightforward yes or no. I guess if I take this original no, which was the Seven of Wands, it's like we don't want it to flare because will attract attention. Is this like people like haters? Maybe not. Where did that Queen of Cups go? Oh, she's on the table. The Queen of Cups is on the table on top of the Nine of Air. Maybe it's relative. Some things we want to, some things we don't. I don't know. I tried to be clever with the Clarity Tarot, and then I got separated from the chat. I kind of like want to turn off the light. I don't have a. Ooh, I'll take it back. Ah! Where's my. See, but this won't work if I turn the light off. This is why it might serve to have an abundance of decks. The Threads of Fate Journeyman Edition? Ascendant Edition. This is going to represent the void. Oh, gosh. Y'all acting like y'all neglected the way these cards are just spilling out. Look at this. The card at the top that's just spilling out, it's the Ruler of Swords. There you go. The Ruler of Swords, which is the Father of Swords, which is the Father of Air, the King of Air. So I'm going to take that as a little synchronicity that I am supposed to pull this. Taurus season is so complicated. You know, I wouldn't have necessarily thought this. So, messages from the void. Again, I'm sorry I can't see. Actually, I spend way too much money on technology. So, all I have to do is turn on my TV. I could use my phone, but the screen is smaller. I'm going to turn on my TV, and then I'm going to find this video. I'm going to turn the sound down so I'm not talking to myself. And then we're going to turn on the live chat. You thought you could outsmart me? Ha! I am well equipped in the technological department. I streamed on OBS instead of using native YouTube software so I can see what y'all see, so I can get stuff in the frame like that, which is the back of a card. And then I have my TV so I can see the chat. Take that, Mercury. You got to do better than that. Retrograde if you want. I'm kidding. Let me stop before Mercury's like, I'll have the storm knock your power out. Then you'll be in the dark too. I'm like, it's fine. You ain't got to go that far. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a prank, bro. It's a prank. From the void. Oh, this is interesting. I was actually looking at getting the Empyrean, but maybe not. We'll see. I know, right? I don't want to get too crazy because I like to show Mercury that I'm flexible and fluid, but I'm not trying to challenge Mercury either, especially in the middle of a thunderstorm, because, if the power gets knocked out, then. From the void. Oh, finally. Goodness. Who are you? The Ruler of Cups. But now I'm like, is this actually the Ruler of Cups, though? The bottom of the deck is the Seeker of Cups. and the ruler of swords. The seeker of cups and the ruler of swords. I didn't know if it was the ruler of swords that was acting as the ruler of cups, because the king of swords has been witnessing and observing. And he already, like, the king of swords showed us that he can do fire because he emulated the wands of the king and queen of wands. Well, we saw the queen of wands in the line strider yesterday. And then, like I said, with that seven of wands, the queen of swords came out with a sword that was mimicking like pinnacle energy. Like it was growing ivy. And it's like, whoa, swords don't do that. Like swords cut ivy down, they don't grow it. Bottom of the deck is the seeker of cups and the ruler of swords. The father of swords are the king of air is already here. I was gonna pull before and after the king of air to see where it is, but Taurus season is bringing it to the forefront. So it feels like this is going to be a season of putting everything that we've learned up until this point into play, but it's like in a very active way. Like opportunities are going to come up, and it's going to be one of those like, it's going to be one of those like not a trial by fire. But I think before and again, it's like in Aries season, like this was the end result. So we did a lot of like contemplation. We did more like internal work. And it's not to say that there weren't things that were going on in the external environment, but we did a lot of the internal balancing that triggered this like death and rebirth energy. This death and rebirth is the emergence of the child from the womb. The life of this child floating in the embryonic sac of its mother is over. It is now birthed into the world. The Four of Wands is under that ruler of swords. Wow, the timing is so quick. Oh, look. You see the wishbone and the seeker of cups? It's the same wishbone in this Four of Swords, but it's like a north node energy. And the seeker of cups, it looks like the south node. There we go. Interesting. Okay. I think the reason why it's a no for the flaring is because there's something about this energy that's self contained. Because it almost feels like a flare in this environment could be very not beneficial. A flare in this environment could like it'd be the energy of like misunderstandings, miscommunication. Like I didn't mean it that way. I wasn't trying to be combative, and they hear it one way because everybody, as we're coming back together, the narrative around like therapy and healing and stuff like that is very present in a way that it wasn't something that we really talked about at all. And it's like, we're all on a healing journey. We all got traumas and triggers and stuff like that. So this is why like we handle our own traumas and our own triggers. We don't allow that to spill out and affect the choices and decisions that we make or the way that we show up to the point where it causes conflict and contention and spaces where it's already like it's not that it's heated, but like this is like everyone Like it's a meeting of kings and fathers and rulers of air. And because of this, there's also an emotional understanding that this king of air has. So it's like if someone gets triggered or if someone like lashes out, there is a certain amount of understanding that can be extended to that person. But like no one's gonna be somebody's emotional punching bag. You know what I mean? It's like, get it under control. We're trying to work here. Be professional. And then here comes Patrick. How dare you invalidate my feelings? Oh gosh. All right. So that's Taurus season. Like it's beautiful energy, but it feels like it's also a beginning. Um, but like the Three of Earth said, there's some greater thing that we're heading towards in the future. Now is the time for the groundwork. Now is the time to build that foundation and to make it right and to make it sturdy. Pluto is going to retrograde into Capricorn. Maybe when Pluto retrogrades into Capricorn, it's actually going to help us a little bit. But that was the feeling of like Pluto retrograding in and out of Aquarius and Capricorn. Like in Aquarius, it's building, it's future forward thinking. And then it retrogrades back into Capricorn to make sure that, it's almost like Aquarius is the front end of things, Capricorn is the back end. So it's making sure that everything's good on the back end, making sure that the foundation doesn't need to be adjusted. It's like this, was that Sagittarius? How Sagittarius was like beta testing the 5D or whatever. Like when Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn, it's an opportunity to fix the foundation, to update, modernize, tweak it, to do whatever that we need to, and then it'll go back into Aquarius. And then we start to like use it again. And if things come back up when it retrogrades back into Capricorn, we can handle it, address it, fix it. So by the time, hopefully, that this retrograde dance is done and it's firmly in Aquarius, we'll have something very, very, very solid that we can take forward into the future. That we won't have to sort of revisit, but it's like now is the time to do that groundwork. Now is the time to be open. Now is the time to, I don't want to say to have healed enough because again, it feels like it is about healing, but it's not about healing. Because the healing doesn't necessarily have to be complete in order for us to not be emotional octopuses that spray ink everywhere whenever we get a little startled. You know what I mean? But at the same time, because of that Three of Earth energy, it's like you can't do, well, maybe you can. You use your own intuition, discernment, and guidance on how you set your boundaries. And whether or not, like, because we can't do anyone's work for them. That's just like a fact. We can try to help each other, we can try to guide each other, but we have to be the ones that sort of take those steps, that takes that journey. And the Three of Pentacles is like everybody doing their part. It's not like two people who split the work of the third person because the third person can't do anything. At that point, it's like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? You're just proving to us that if we cut you out, like, we'll still be good. But that was something too I think it was in was that in the Taurus reading? I think it was Taurus that had that, like, there's that moment in time where Taurus like inspires people or whatever. I don't know. Destiny and the Queen of Earth. Is that the Queen of Swords? Because her sword was earthy. Now I don't. That reading effed me up. It messed me up. But it's the Emperor and the Empress. Let's make it easy. It's the Emperor and the Empress and their ability to show up how they need to show up in the element and the modality. However, but it's just that, like, with it being like, if with it actually being the king or queen of, does it matter though? I don't think it matters. Let's see. All right, Clarity Tarot, I'll give you one more chance. Does it matter if it's actually the king or queen of swords? Oof. The Tower says yes. The Tower says yes, it does matter. And then we have the birds out here. Interesting. Why does it matter? Yes, because of Tower. Maybe it's not. Again, it feels kind of testing, but um, because this is what is for the King and Queen of Swords to learn. That's why it matters. That's literally, that's not the whole point, but that's the phase that the King and the Queen of Swords are in right now. It's like, can they actually do those things? Because the King, like I made in the last community post, there's an energy of like bringing it into a different kind of understanding. That's why it matters if it's actually the king or queen of swords, the ruler or the sovereign of swords, the king or queen of air. Which I guess this makes sense. If the thing, because there's the thing about alignment, right? Or the thing about like learning from all of the previous experiences. This is how the king and queen prove that they've learned. This is essentially the keeper being the magician or taking on aspects of the magician when they need to take on the magician, being the empress and the emperor when they need to be the empress and the emperor. And the reason why Aries season was starting with the keeper was clarified by the Eight of Wands and the Emperor. Because we're coming into a point in time where it's like we take charge. And there's also an alignment with the Eight of Wands with the divine. But then, I did the lion spread. And that was basically like, yeah, Athena is the lion. We are the sharpshooter. Michael gave us the sword. It's like, okay, time to use it. And we're like, wait, but you're Michael. You're supposed to use your sword. Why am I don't know. Apparently I'm getting into character accents again. Who are you? The Three of Water. The last three that we didn't see. We saw the child. We saw the Three of Earth, the Three of Fire, and the Three of Air. Now the Three of Water comes out. If the catalyst is something that is recovered by the end, it's almost like a lesson. Taurus season is going to be a lesson in Earth. Bottom of the deck is perception. It's going to challenge our perception. I feel like our perception is going to change in a good way, though. This almost makes me think of and then the Nine of Air is behind perception. This makes me think of the attachments. Is it attachment in the Energy Oracle card? It makes me think of the Eight of Swords. Wait, was that me? Was that my face? Hold up. I think I caught a glimpse of my face because I'm on my TV screen. Maybe not. Yeah, that's me. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, sorry. Hold up. I'm like, wait, is that me? Is that me? Is that at me? Anyway, it feels like this is us, like life had us in Scorpio. The South Node is transiting Scorpio to Libra. So hopefully by the end of it, all that Scorpio stuff has been like kind of sort of resolved. But it's like life had us gagged and bound and tied up in a sarcophagus attached to cinder blocks and anchors and thrown down in Davy Jones's locker. But there's a change in perspective. That is me. That's my face. I saw my face. I saw my face. Oh, I need to stop. Okay. Life is gonna, like, we're gonna be freed. And that's why this perception card is interesting. It's actually quite beautiful. And it's like there's going to be flow and movement in areas that we never would have thought. There's going to be resolution and things that maybe we never would have thought would be resolved. It's like a wish fulfillment where we desperately wanted it. And maybe our hearts had hardened to it, or maybe we thought it wouldn't be possible at one point based upon however long we were down there chilling in the locker. But as things move forward, we've done enough healing to rise and be planted, to be nurtured as the earth is coming. Well, I guess we're firmly in spring now. But, you know, April showers bring May flowers. May Day, Beltane, whatever that is, May 1st. It's like we too can be nourished and we too can grow as Earth is in her season, at least in the North Hemisphere, of growth. But it is going to require us to be open to it because we can refuse it, because our free will and because our choice is acknowledged. We don't have to. Beautiful. It's very beautiful, but, you know, very trying at the same time. Girl, where'd I put that deck? Where'd I put the deck? Where'd I put that deck? It's right here. Okay. Taurus season looking real interesting. Feels like there's a lot of movement and a lot of momentum. Everlong in the locker. The never short medium. Should we read that? 3 of water? Why not? Let's see. Why not? YNOT. 3 of fire. No. 3, 10 of fire. No. Oh, I should have read the 10 of fire. Oh, well. I already changed the page. Keywords of the 3 of water: satisfaction, pleasure, joy, hopefulness, anticipation, attachment, expectation, and disappointment. There's the attachment from the energy oracle cards. Celebrate your victories. Take satisfaction from your endeavors. Look to the future with anticipation. Your success will continue. A rewarding outcome, an exciting future. Free yourself of unrealistic expectations and allow the outcome to manifest freely. Love it. We are loving it. Excuse me. Final card from the Ascendant edition. Light is the first thing born in the darkness. Welcome to the world, little you. I was going to say little starseed. Welcome to the world, little starseed. It's also interesting that it mentioned binary star systems in the mass. Mass is calculated based off of rotations around the center. The center of the, what is it? The galactic center is in Sagittarius. Ooh, my eyes been twitchy. That was a hard twitch. Oh, there's another twitch. Final card. Oh, it's the Wheel of Fortune. Followed by the Five of Wands. Ooh. This is the Crucible. In the Crucible, in that Wheel of Fortune, in that Crucible comes the Wheel of Fortune. It's almost like because it's a star in this deck, it becomes like one of those where it forms the wheel. In this deck, Ouroboroses, for me, signify having your ego under control. And it's because of the Ruler of Wands. This is where it's like having your ego under control, it's like being able to show up and not be derailed, or it's like maintaining the integrity of choice, right? Like sometimes when we're triggered, we act emotionally and rashly. I'm triggering myself by even saying this. Sometimes when we're triggered, we act out of emotion. And it's like we make the choice or decision based off of the past thing. And we don't necessarily make that choice here, today, and now. And so it's like something like sometimes we might not even realize that there was a choice to make because of that. But specifically, it's having the ego under control. And the importance of needing to have that ego under control in this Five of Wands situation. Because again, it's already volatile enough. And it doesn't necessarily feel like it's super volatile, but it's kings and queens working with kings and queens. It's a meeting of opposites. So it's a meeting of opposites. It's a meeting of equals and opposites, but equals. And so it's like there is no king or queen who will subject themselves to the rule of another king or queen. And so it's like it's not a space where ego games really, like, there's no space for it. And that's the one thing about the King of Swords that was very admirable when he came out of the Double Majors Prime Use Tarot. Is like he was standing with his sword firmly planted in the ground. He wasn't shrinking himself. And I think that's something that, like, I don't know if it's necessarily Three of Coins, Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Let's go. It's a collaborative effort. It's a round table, literally round with the Ouroboros. Nobody is at the head, and you can try to put yourself at the head if you want to. Go home and be the head of your own table if you're looking to be the boss. Because we're coming together and we're respecting one another. And it's like respect is demanded here. Because everyone has whatever. It ain't one person that's coming in to try to flex on everybody else. But anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. The round table before that. The King of Swords standing in his full truth. Standing confident and proud, but still open. And I think sometimes it's like we create a hierarchy around certain positions, right? Like there's the master and the apprentice, there's the teacher and there's the student. But the teacher is not any higher than the student. The teacher and the student are on the same level. But because of earth politics and, like, listen to your elders, listen to adults, you're a child, blah, 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 blah. They're the teacher, blah, 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 blah. It's like, just like a servant and the one that they serve, like the waiter and the customer. Like, we like to think that the customer is above the waiter, and the waiter has to be subjected to whatever the customer, whatever, because the customer is always right and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no. It's like that kind of ego game. It's not going to work here because there is no one that is above the other. But that understanding works both ways. Like every king and every queen, every emperor and every empress at that table understands that. So they don't have to shrink themselves when in order to like go to somebody else. Or they don't have to like try to outshine other people whenever they take the stage or whatever. It's like it's their turn to speak, it's their turn to contribute. So anyway, I don't know how I'm going to end this live. I'm assuming if I close the window that the live will end because I can't open the window to end the live. So if a video spins long enough, I think it automatically ends it. I think. If not, then I can't even timestamp the end of this. But I think I can trim it in YouTube Studio. So I am going to attempt to end this. I'm going to go. Y'all can stay here and chit chat if you want. If the live doesn't end, you can look at the OBS screen if the live doesn't end. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that as Taurus season, as I read it, as the energy came to me to read, I hope that as these challenges come, you allow yourself confidence. And I hope that as things happen, you can see the opportunity that lies in them. I hope you an ability to stay present and the determination to work through any challenge and the clarity of sight to see what lies at the end. And generally, anything else you need. I hope you anything and everything that you need along your path, journey, and way. Because, the quicker we get there, the quicker we're out of here. Not that we don't appreciate the here and now, because the here and now is beautiful and is a gift. And just as the king and queen of swords is learning to incorporate all of these other elements, where they are now is also important. Right? So thank you all for being here. I'll see you the next time I see ya. And yeah, we'll see if this video ends. It might not. So if it doesn't, maybe I can reopen it and I'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you all for being here. For those who say thank you, I say you're welcome. No problem.